Hi, this is Lisa from Punk Creation and welcome back. So I think this video is part 7, I think, of the journal insert series. And this, if you're new, welcome. This is a steampunk journal that I have been working on. And I've posted the other videos of how I've got to this point. Okay, so the one we're working on today is this insert here. Okay, now full credit for this goes to Thebookvandelshop. I have changed what she did ever so slightly because I wanted it to work more with this journal, but check her out and I'll put her information in the description box below because her stuff is absolutely amazing and she inspires me so much. So this is what we're going to do today. I won't be showing you how to make this tag here purely because this was done for a group that I belong to and I don't have all of those bits anymore, so I won't be doing that today. However, I will show you how to create the pocket and stuff so that you can put your own tag in there. So let's crack on. Let's pop that down to the side. So what I'm going to be using is a basic brown file folder, okay, some tea-dyed, or yeah, this one was tea-dyed paper, and I've got some Tim Holtz stuff here. I've got some paper from a metals collection, some Stampin Up cardstock, and then of course the paper from Stamperia that I'm using, the paper set that I'm using here. Now it's got clocks on one side, which they are adorable. I absolutely love them. However, the size that I needed for my page, I'd have had to cut one or two of the clocks in half, or it wouldn't have been in half, it would have just been slightly, and it messed with my head too much. So I'm using this side, and then I can sort of come down the centre and still use the clocks from the other side, if that makes sense. So let's start with this file folder here, and we need to cut it. So I'm just gonna come up with my cutting board. Find it easier to use a knife and a metal ruler than I do a pair of scissors. My scissors aren't particularly sharp and my eyes aren't very good, so I prefer to do it this way. So the first thing you need to do is measure the height of your pages. Now my pages measure 8 inches on this. Let's go to the page. So the first thing we need to do is measure the height that we need from this file folder. Okay, so as I said, mine is 8. So what I'm going to do is just measure 8 inches down, and then we're going to cut there. Okay, so put my ruler on there. There we go. Obviously we'll be using the scraps at a later date. Okay, so what I've done is I marked mine just so that I knew where I wanted the fold to be. And with a file folder you have 2 folds. You have the factory fold, which was this one, and then you have the other fold, which is this one here. This is the one that I want to use. So I'm basically just folding that and then just scoring it. Sorry, burnishing that down so that I know that that is the one that I want to use. So now we're going to go 5.5 inches across this way. Now you can have your page as wide as you want. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have it exactly the width of the other page if you don't want to. You can change the sizing. Sorry, just straightening that out. Yeah, you don't have to have it that size. So have a look to see what size you want. Sorry, I don't know what's happened here. There we go. Quickly need to sort that out. I wanted mine 5.5 inches across, so that's what I've measured on here. So I'm just going to take my scoreboard. Again, you don't have to have a scoreboard. If you don't have one, just pop your card, your file folder on your mat, or again, if you don't have a mat, just count across with your ruler. Okay, go to 5.5, put a mark or draw a line, and then just take your bone folder, or you could use the end of a paint, you know, the handle of a paintbrush or the scissor handles, whatever you've got to hand. You don't need a scoreboard. So put this in here. So I want to measure mine at 5.5, so that's just here. Okay. So that's going to be my first fold. So then we're going to concertina that way, okay, and then where you can see that it joins there, not joins, sorry, folds there, that's where I want to flip it back, okay. So I think I can see roughly on my scoreboard where that is. If not, do it by eye. I think I did my last one by eye because... So what we do is we just take this and we just fold it. Like so. Okay. And then what I want to do is just put 1/8 of an inch in there. As well. So we're just going to, on the scoreboard, just go over 1/8 of an inch and score that down. And then that just gives us a little bit of room to work with when we want to put pockets and things in. I didn't fold that at all straight, did I? I didn't burnish that very well, did I? Sorry. Let's do that again. Oops. It's all going wrong. It's because it's about 6 o'clock in the morning, that's why. Right. Let's do that again. Now, as you can see, I have now got multiple folds because I have just messed that up. However, you won't see it, so that's fine. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Doesn't matter how many times you practice these things. Okie dokie, right. there we go. So we have that one, and then we have that one. Now what I'm going to do is just trim off the edge there. Okay, so that needs to come off. Let's pop it on that one there, and then we can just take off 1/2 inch. Now on my original one, let's just grab it. On the original one, this bit here is a little bit smaller than that. Okay, it doesn't go all the way to the edge, and it saves on the bulk actually. So perfect, absolutely perfect. Okay, because if that does push forward that way, then so next job we need to do is I like to ink up all of the edges. Okay, so I just use the Tim Holtz Distress, and this one is Vintage Photo. And just go around. I just ink up all of my edges. So I'm going to do all that and I'll be back. Okay, so I've literally just lined it up and then just cut, and it was literally just a slither, look, but it wasn't straight, and that would have driven me absolutely bonkers. Oh, that's better, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put, because I've had to cut that down a bit more than I had originally planned, just inking up these just a little bit more. Okay, well, right, okay. What was I saying? Yes, so we're going to use this set from 1 inch from the end, and I'm going to do it, I don't know if you can see, so I'm going to do it about 2/3 of the way up, punch the hole. Okay, I'm then going to take my pencil and my ruler and just let's take this out so that I can measure it, so I can line it up on my cutting mat. Sure that's straight, and I'm just going to draw a line roughly 1 inch to the other end. Okay, and then draw another line. Okay, spin this around, and then line it up with that one. You can see that. Sorry, I just looked at that and thought that wasn't straight either, but it is. Okay, so then we just need to cut between these two holes. Take your time. Okay, go really slowly with this, because if you cut too far, you're going to end up cutting over here. So it's best just to take your time. And get your cuts Get your cuts right. I think if I play with that too much, I'm not going to get a straight cut. Sorry, I've got dreadful hay fever. It's not ideal when you're trying to record a video, so I do apologise. Okay, so then that goes on there, and then I like to just ink up that bit as well. I'm just going to take off a little bit more on this top section here. Just make sure my paper's straight. And it's literally just the tiniest of bits. Okay, but if you don't do things like that, when you come to use your journal, or you come to look at it in a short while after you've finished, you'll be gutted that you didn't do those finer details. So this is now going to go on there. Okay, so let's hope my glue is going to work. Run a bead of glue down the outside. There we go. And we can place that on there. Go over with my bone folder just to make sure that it's adhered properly. Wipe off the excess glue. The glue that I use dries clear, so there's no bother there. And there's that first page, there's that first bit done. And what we can then use, or what we can then do, this is now a cool pocket so that we can use, I'll just take a scrap here, okay, cool pocket. We're going to move on to these two bits here now, and what I've done is I'm using this one, and I know the name of this one. This is Marina Mist from Stampin Up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as my backing for these two columns here. So I just mark there, bring it along to where I want it to go, mark it again, and then we're going down to there. Okay, so I'm just going to cut those. Probably would have made sense for me to go along the bottom first, wouldn't it? I'm going to do that, I think, so that we can do it all together. For some reason I obviously didn't press hard enough on this bit here. There we go. So I've got my 2 panels here. And they are going to go there and there. Okay. Now, as you can see on this one, we've done a pocket here and we've done a belly band on that side. So on this side, we're going to stick down that cardstock. We are then going to pop some fabric on there as well. So that's a brand new glue, but you still have to shake the Jesus out of it, and then you can to get any on your cardstock. Okay. Do you know what I haven't done? See, happens to us all. Right, okay, so hadn't inked it up. So I shall very quickly go round. There we go. Okay, right. So we need a pocket on here and we need a belly band. So the first thing I did was I just took this piece of fabric, and what I love about these papers from Stamperia is that although they're steampunk, and obviously traditional steampunk, you've got the machinery, you've got all the cogs and the bits and pieces like that. With this paper, they do make it quite feminine. Sorry. So that's why I've added the fabric in there, because I think it just adds to it. I think it just softens the whole look. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue just in here. I want it to be quite loose, free. So I'm not going to put too much on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I've got this here. Now this is from the metal collection, and I'll put that link below. And all of the pieces in it look like they're rusty and absolutely love them. So what we're going to do, just measure down here. I took the sort of shades of blue from that. It's the only blue I had. This Marina Mist. Just going to mark on there where I want it. Where I want it cut. I'm going to do that. So I've just made another one off camera and scored those so that I've got a belly band there. Okay, and this one I've just scored the bottom as well so that I can create a pocket so that the bits don't fall out. So I just cut the corners off like so, fold these, and that should fold then quite neatly in there. It's all very fiddly, isn't it, when it gets to this size? It gets this small. And then that goes on the bottom there. So before we do that, I'm just going to ink it. You don't have to have the fabric if you don't want it. As I said before, I like the way the fabric looks on my journals, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And the other thing you could do, which would look really, really nice, is to, before you stick this blue down, just to run your sewing machine around there, and then you've got that wonderful stitch, and I think that looks really lovely. But my sewing machine's broken, so I can't do that. Right, so this one goes here. Now I think that one again might be a little bit too small. I wonder if I could use that. No, it needs to match. It doesn't look right otherwise. There we go. So I'm just going to use it like that. So, oh, I haven't inked. Come on, Lisa. Now I did fold it to create a bit more space. However, it's a little bit tight, so I'm not going to be able to use that fold. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mess ups live on air. So we stick that down. There's my belly band. It's probably a little too wide. I've got a very random L, which I'm just going to pop in there. Now this letter L is from a collection at Tim Holtz. I forget which collection this one is from. I think I have every collection he has done, so, but I forget which one that one's from, so we just pop that down. Very random. Okay, now we're going to work on this side here. And again, I've taken a Tim Holtz paper here. Love this with these gentlemen on, and with this, it's just perfect. I want some of that, but I want these gentlemen, I don't want to cut them off too much. So that's going to go in the centre. Okay. Now if I just grab the original. You can see that this is a tuck spot here, and then this is a tuck spot I use that. That's a tuck spot up there, and then this is a pocket too. So what we're going to do, just going to measure roughly where that needs to be cut. Again, leaving 1/8 of an inch all the way round. So I'm gonna and I have these two other Tim Holtz bits that I wanted to use, and they were like that, and I've just cut them down. So I have a piece on the bottom and a piece on the top. So I think this bit on the top here is nice. So I'm going to just cut there, and cut there, and then we'll see how long I want it. Should fit. It does. And I'm just going to see how much of that I want showing. So that's going to go there. I really like this here, so it's not going to be much at the top, is it? It's literally going to be there, but I don't waste things. Although I'm just using the top of this piece, the rest will go into my scraps, and I'll use that for another part of the journal. So that's going to go just there, that's going to go just there. I'll leave a little gap between, and then, oh actually, should I use, yes, that could go down the bottom, and then I've got no wastage whatsoever apart from a tiny little bit. I've got a car right outside my craft room, and he is testing his engine, which is a pain when you're trying to record a video, so I do apologise if you can hear the background. Okay. Let's stand up for this bit, right. So I just want to make sure I have got all the space that I want between. Just take a tiny little bit off there. Perfect. And then on the bottom there as well. Perfect. Right, let's ink those up. I'm going to stick these on the bottom, stick these pieces down. So I do a tiny bead of glue down the bottom, along the sides, and then I can use that as a tiny, tiny, tiny little tuck spot if I want to. So we've got a tuck spot there, we've got a tuck spot there, and then we've got a secret pocket that goes all the way behind. So that's that bit done. Now I just wanted to quickly show you how to do a tag for this section here. Now with this cardstock, it lends itself so brilliantly to tags and things because they're there ready for you. Okay, you don't have to do anything with Stamperia product to get it to look amazing, okay, because it looks amazing already. So all I've done is punch a hole. I'm going to pop a eyelet in there, and then I'm going to attach some ribbon to that. So I've just pulled out a eyelet, pop it in there, take my crocodile, I always have it set to eyelet anyway, push down, okay, and then we just take a piece of the green ribbon that I've been using in my journal. I'm just going to thread it through. If I can stop shaking. Okay, there we go. Okay, right. I am not a mad lover of this blue with this paper here. It's okay, but I want to do something here. So I've pulled out some of my steampunky type stamps, and I've got some cogs here, and there's a bug, and I've got some random numbers, and I'm just going to stamp quite randomly on the bottom of here. Now it's a pretty blue. It's, you know, it's a good colour. I'd rather just dirty it up a little bit. For me, it's a bit too blue. Okay, so random letter, number even. And actually this is good because it shows you that you can if you use something that you're not quite that mad on once you've done your project, it's okay, just change it up. And I've got a random bug there. Okay, now I might add some more, that might be enough. What can we do to that? Maybe bring in just a bit of extra colour down here. Try and pick colours out of the papers, you see, just to try and tone it all and blend it all in. A bit of orange maybe, and the orange goes with that one. So there you go. Fab. Right, okay, that makes me a little bit happier. Okay, sorry, just clearing up some of my stuff. Right then, so what I may do is I may add a little bit of stamping to this, and obviously that will have a little what's it called in it, tag in it, like this one. Okay, so now we're going to move on to these back pieces. Hi, so we're going to cover the underside with this tea-dyed paper. Now, I have already stuck this one purely because I did it in the video and then realised that my phone hadn't actually recorded. What I have done is I have taken 1.5 sheets of tea-dyed paper. I have inked the edges, okay, and I have stuck this one down. Now what I did is I put it on this, and then I decided that I wanted a pocket there. So I brought it down, folded it up, and then just put a bead of glue here, and then around the outside. Okay, so that one's that done. Now, forgive me if this is on the beginning of the other video. I use this on my tea-dyed paper. Now this is a body mist with coconut and shimmer, and I get this from a store in the UK called Home Bargains. And what I do is I put my paper in the tea dye, the cold tea, and just before I put it in the oven I spray it with this. Okay, and what it does is it, apart from making it smell absolutely divine, it gives it a little shimmer. Now I don't know if you can see that on camera. Don't know if you can, but it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful, and so that's how I do mine. It's I like to do a massive batch of tea dyeing. So we're just going to stick these down. Stand up so I can get this straight. Now, on the original page that I showed you, I use lined paper, but as this is going into my journal, probably on the next signature, I wanted to change it up just a little bit so it wasn't exactly the same as the first one. Excuse me. And also on the first one, I have, I'll show you in a second, I have a tear on one of these papers. And I have made that tear into a bit of a feature. Gosh, this paper smells amazing. And the good thing about this body mist, and I'm sure you can use any body mist, I don't think you have to use that specific brand. It doesn't leave like a film, you can still write on it, but it makes it smell amazing. Right, so on this you can see that this tear here, and I made a feature of it, it's because my paper was torn and I didn't want to not use the paper. So I rolled it down, stained the edges with the vintage photo stain, and then just popped a piece of cardstock behind that to make it more of a feature instead of wasting it. So that's the only reason why that's there. So that's done. Now with this gap here, I quite like this. I think that looks really cute there. I got this from Amazon, and I'm not sure whether to use it or not. It's a bit out of my comfort zone, but do you know what? What the heck? Just neaten the sides up a little bit. Now hopefully it won't fray once it's stuck down. What do you think? Please shout at the screen. It's the trouble with doing things on the fly, isn't it? You don't have time to think too hard. Right. Oh, what the heck? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. So I'm going to pop down some tape first. Things like this, I like to belt and brace it. So it's a very British term, that. I'm not sure if any of our friends across the pond know what the heck I'm talking about when I say belt and brace. Okay. So a bit of tape and a bit of glue. On there. Took me a while to get used to that, but that's quite pretty, isn't it? Now, these pages are now perfect for stamping or for journaling, and obviously now we've got another fab little pocket there. So let's get this into the journal. So we're going to close this signature up and flip onto our next signature. Okay, so where would I like this one? Yeah, I think on that one, because it's quite a it's a good piece of paper. Right. So what we're going to do, I didn't have to do that back piece, did I? Okay, so we're going to just pop some glue. Right, so what I've done is I've put glue across the top, down the side and across the bottom. Let's put another drop there. I'm going to stick this down like so. Just get my bone folder, push that down as best as I can, nice and firm. But because I've only done across the top and down the sides, I have now created a really cool tuck spot just in there, which I haven't got on the other one actually. So that's different as well. That's a bonus. I don't like to do all of my signatures exactly the same. Otherwise, as a maker, it gets quite boring, doesn't it, if you do the whole thing the same. So there we go. So we've got a nice tuck spot on the front here and some journaling space. Hasn't stuck well, has it? There we go. There we go. And I might do some stamping on there. I might put some of my beautiful stickers on there or something. And then as we come out, so we've got the little tuck spot in there. We've got one at the top there, and then the whole thing is a secret pocket. Another tuck spot in that belly band there, and it opens up again, and we've got another pocket there, and then we've got the big one there. So there we go, that's that one done. So what I will do is I will go back to my first signature and I'll have a look to see what else I want to do in here, and I will put some bits together for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this video and you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. And don't forget to click that notification bell so that you can receive all of my installments, whether it's on the journal or on my power text projects that I do. And thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you again very soon. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.